chat rate 1? Why can I not see chat at all then? Link. Does that... Oh, okay, yeah. That's it. Where's that light coming from? Too much light. Let's turn down the lights a smidge. I probably still need to get this one better. This one's quite a chunker. Just look at it. And it's a bit dusty, like I pulled my finger across the pane and you can still see it by it not being dusty over there. Oh man, and at the bottom it's really dusty. So I really need to clean this sometime. But for today, I'm just going to do a chill build stream. Oops, scratch. Dancing, how we do it, you know how we do it. This is all live, folks. So at least Lego knows we don't want to mess up this box. Like for the first one, you'd perhaps kind of want to put this one back a bit, so you have to something is not catching here. So I got this slightly discounted. Bricks. Abacazoo. Or should I actually just pull off the stickers? I cannot pull off the stickers because pulling off the stickers pulls off part of the box. Bad stickers. That's not how you're supposed to stick, damn you. So this box will always have the remains of the stickers on it. So a lot of features in this box. I mean, you've seen this elsewhere, but tonight it is getting built here, at least part of it. Unboxing. I do like that it's one of these boxes. Like the bad part is you cannot really fold it up like that. The good part is it's yeah, I guess UCS boxes always have like this way of putting stickers on there, closing up stickers that don't really damage the box, I guess. A lot of bags in here, at least 21. Probably somewhere beneath it all. An instruction manual and a new kind of outside thing. Like this is not the way that I expect these to come. At least 22 bags in here, I see. Let's take out bag number 1. And then perhaps I'll put this might be the way to do it. So I guess I can move up a bit. Just like this. Let's move with the focus of the build. Yeah, it's quite different the way the instruction booklet is in here. It's more like just a kind of thick paper towards cardboards. Like if cardboard is like 20 plies of a certain type of paper, it would be this type. Then some stickiness and it opens up, and just in the middle you get your stuff. Then I think there are 2 instruction manuals in there. Yeah, I did get it correctly. 2 with their image parts facing each other. Not too many stickers, but still some. Some of them very nice, some of them no steer. I'm trying to figure out the Arabesh on here. I think it's no something. There's probably too much. Let's put the focus on my face. So no Slay. That's an S, right? S-T, then an E. I don't recognize the last one. But some nice stickers in there, like some nice detail. And then of course some stickers that we would have wished had just been prints. I mean, I guess we want you to wish everything to be a print. The QR codes on here. It's kind of funny that this $300, although I got it still for a discount. I was not counting on a discount anymore. I thought Bol had discontinued it, but I got it for a discount on Wednesday. And then yeah, the famous battle across that's running away from Geonosis, I think, with of course the very iconic sounds of the, what's that called again? You even build it here, right? And there's after losing his previous ship during a prison riot on UVO 4. There's an Easter egg for that UVO 4 in the stickers I've seen on some reviews. Some nice art. Perhaps I'll put it like this a bit. So here we of course have the, I think that's outside of Geonosis, where the bomb gets dropped in the asteroid fields. Proximity mine or something. I'm sure it will get mentioned. Some few other shots. Vehicle cut through. I did get 2 of those books, which should also help. And of course, yeah, they know it's iconic, right? Because it's built in here. I am already thinking of, hey, well, if I guess if you're scared of spoilers, I will only build some of it today, so just enough to tease you a bit. And I was planning to possibly get it at the end of last year. There was a very nice sale going on, but I was thinking, yeah, then I spent all of my money, so I bought something else. And then suddenly that store didn't have it in stock anymore. But then, since it was coming up on my birthday, and there was a sudden small discount on it. I snapped, I bit, and I bought it. And how do I put it into the frame nicely? Voila. I mean, the reason I did really want to get it now is because I did an interview. I don't know if you checked that out. Were you in here back then as well? You might have been, right? There are a lot of people here. So many that I even lost track last week. And no, 2 weeks ago. And Richard, who I interviewed then, said that he thought that this is the best official Lego set there is. And as you may see, oops, in my background, I quite like this, yeah, with 2 bricks. I quite like this. Are you someone from the Discord who just has another handle on YouTube, by the way? Perhaps Aki or something. Yeah, the problem is on this view I have of the chat is so small. What the icon is, cannot really make it out. I think it's probably a minifig. AI slop. Right, you got in last week or something, right? So relatively new then still. Welcome. Okay, so this is all further teasing. But as I was saying, I basically also had, like many people, long dark ages from Lego, and this set is what got me back in. Now, after buying this and making it on the first time I ever streamed in 2018, I think, I made this on sets, and then on the stream. I didn't stream for quite a long time after. I didn't buy any more Lego, but then yeah, COVID hit, and I started buying Lego again. And I have this YouTube channel, and I thought, why not try streaming again? Just something chill, something a bit more relaxed than the first ones I had, and just build a bit. I guess it's time to get going. I guess we also get our first. Should I perhaps build here? Build here, then it's probably more interesting to see what I'm building than the instructions, although it might be focusing on the text on my sweater a lot. Perhaps I need to turn it down a bit more. Hopefully it will keep the right thing. How do I put it straight? Right thing in focus like this. Ooh. So, yeah, I've heard there are, I think it's the arm print, right? Because we also have a much smaller set that has this minifig, but I think this one has arm printing and the other one doesn't, or something. Like, for once I really bought this official set because I want to build the actual set, and the minifigs are a nice bonus. Like with some Lego sets, it's kind of the opposite. And is there a story behind AI slop? Because it's kind of a special name to take, I would say. because I kind of have an opinion on some of that AI generated stuff, but since you already call it slop, I guess you share that opinion. Oh wait, it's he's using these types of guns that are kind of I guess they are guns, but often they also get used as just it's basically two what's that called in English again, or in Lego terms, poles. Ah, okay, nice. Yeah, me neither. I also don't like AI. I think it has a lot of big problems, and it's not offering much to us in return. And that's why I'm making a game, but I'm not using any AI, and I'm kind of taking that as one of the selling points. He did have the double gun, right? Because I don't know if there's another shooting scene, but I remember him with the fight against Mace Windu. I seem to remember him having two pistols and two arms, and then I think it deleted. There's the official death scene for Jango, and then I saw on the internet that they originally shot another one as well, where Mace Windu, basically a bit like the Knight of Ni in Monty Python, took away an arm and then another arm. Should I perhaps now put it a bit lower and then turn it up? Yeah, I have this very flexible, just a flash wound, exactly. Flexible camera stance. Then you can kind of see. But then it will focus on my sweater again, possibly. Do I have. There's also something written on here, but that's higher, so. Like there's a little bit of text on here, but hopefully the cam won't focus on that. So yeah, I do presume, since there's some functionality in there and it's a big build, that we will get like a Technic frame first. Wait, can I not just is it this one? Let me put myself over there. The same with the text, and then I can actually build here, because I keep moving. The question is, where will the framing be best? Whoops, no. Why is it? Yeah, like that. Yeah. I'll try to keep my eyes also a bit on the image, but yeah, if it's defocusing too much, let me know. I'll try to adjust it a bit. And how are you today? I don't remember where you're from. Are you from this side of the Atlantic? The other, or perhaps even Asia? I don't know. And I mean, there's 7, or I mean, I guess it could be Australia, UK. Okay, so more or less in the same time zone. I mean, I guess 1 hour difference. That's also right. Okay. The image for me, I think, right, is flipped. So that's why I kind of need to wait. Do I need to go this way or this way to keep it in frame? Perhaps like this to keep the focus on the build a bit. Of course, this one is black, that one as well. Can try to put a bit more light on it. Perhaps that will make it a bit more visible. All of the detail. And of course, no, I thought for a second I was wrong, but yeah. Like when I'm streaming, I do build a bit slower, which is good because that means that I can enjoy this these 200 euros of Legos a bit longer. I do have the problem that I'm getting cold, so I'm going to try putting on the pullover again, and we'll see if it remains in focus or not. But otherwise I'll need to readjust, because my hobby room sadly is not does not have a access to the central heating yet, so it's just like a little small electrical stove here, which does have some disbenefits. Like if I put my sweater up to the top, it keeps the letters a bit more out of view. Like I'm used to also building for then putting it on view. So wait, I could, yeah, why don't I just do my usual setup? That would actually be better, right? Image might be a bit shaky. I'll switch over to this one, because then you actually see what I'm seeing and I don't have to think about framing at all. I can kind of see the secret of how I film this stuff. Yeah, but for me, part of the fun is kind of also figuring out what the optimal setup is to probably like this, that my arm can go under it. Then looking a bit down, perhaps a bit back. Like this. Then I can even move back here a bit. See, that's this is a very nifty thing that I bought for the speed building videos I make. Like the problem a lot of the time is trying to make your camera go way down, go very low. And with this I can basically put it to the floor, or I can put it a bit more higher. And it's all just excellent. Excelente. The only downside is it has 3 points where I kind of need to adjust it. So if I now put it, look at this, such viewings. Though it is a streaming cam, so might need. Yeah, the other camera is also a Logitech, but a later one. I basically bought a second streaming cam a few years ago, And then a few weeks after I said, yeah, I don't like streaming anymore. There might be some ADHD in the way I practice hobbies. But I think this is ideal. You can see what I see. I possibly need to wait. The only thing is lighting. I'm going to see if I can perhaps put it like this. And then it's a bit closer. Right. I almost forgot one of the most important things. Wait, but then it's in... Yeah. I'm trying to find the angle where it's not in view. I guess I could put it a bit more like this. I messed up the... yeah. Then I can put it like this. This is the problem with someone who makes videos and then does a stream. Like, I'm probably way too finicky about my setup instead of just doing the thing. Yeah. But now... Why is it so dark? Should I perhaps one more try? Try one more thing. Put this one closer. Put it more down, so that more of it is going that way. Put it out of my face. Put it a bit more like that, and then hopefully, yeah, this is better, right? Now you can actually see what I'm doing. A bit like I can see it. Yeah, it's probably, the problem is most of the light is coming from there. So if I tip it this way, I'm kind of creating a shadow. So that might be, but if each time I hold it like this, I could put it a bit more higher still. We're going to figure this out together, guys. Like it used to be a top view before, but I thought that didn't look as fun as having it. Yeah, we'll stick with it like this. Oh wait, but this can also go a lot higher, so perhaps now it's better. Voila. I can tip it and you can still see something. Let's continue on this superb, I would say, Jango Fett's built out. Well, I don't know if I would say it's superb. I hear it's superb, and I thought the last one, the first one, I guess Boba Fett's slave one, was the best one, right? And when I was setting up the lights, I did remember I actually have a new rangefinder that I did not put on his helm. Oh, look at that. That does look way better. Does it focus on the... Nice. See, in that in-between space. Do I have one? Kind of want to compare it now. So just a second, I'll go after the cameras and the lights and fetch a problem is I often don't put those on, the old ones, because they're way too big. Where do I have one that has done? of course, there's one right here. Perfect comparison. The OG is the perfect comparison. So yeah, I mean, putting them side by side, it doesn't even look that much taller. It's mostly like the actual rangefinder starts were at the on the old one, where the new one it dips sideways. I think it's mostly the shaping that's a lot better, right? That's actually looks more like something like the old rangefinder looks a bit, I guess, generic, and this one doesn't really look like the way you would want it to. Let's put this. Yeah, I wonder, like, when is it blown out? When is it smooth sailing? Hey, Richard! Soloing this time. And yeah, as you said, this is the best set, and you convinced me. So today's my birthday, by the way. Yay, me! And so I was just able to get this one in time. That's the difference, right? Gorgeous. Well, very nice minifig already. And I've been collecting Lego for a few years now, and I still had no, wait for a second. Just checking if I was using the right mic. And after all these years, I still had no Jango Fett. So even just finally getting this Jango Fett is already a fun thing. Because if I was first considering not getting the set, even though it was kind of nibbling at me, because I have the first one, and then you also kind of want to get the second one. But then people kept saying how good it was, and yeah, you finally pushed me over by just saying it was the best one. Then it got stuck in my head, and I thought, okay, I need to not only get it, but hopefully this birthday. And then suddenly there was, it was back in our local web shop thing, the Benelux web shop Bol, and it was on sale, so snatched it up, picked it up for 250, so did get a little discounts after all. Very nice, very nice. Possibly like one other way to do this. I'm going to do one final effort, because I can actually put this big light a lot further. And then I can just put it over here. Step into the yeah, this is welcome to the stream setup stream. The problem is that almost each time that I do a stream, I discover I need to do a different setup. Perhaps even not to the back here. We're fine. Everything is in order. See, yeah, I think this is better, right? And then can turn this one down a bit. This bit, yeah, like that. Then the glare isn't here. I think this is it. I think finally. Oh, perhaps turn the cam a bit right again. Perhaps a bit closer. Yeah, but that there's a glare on me is probably less bad than on the thing we're all here to see. Thank you. Thanks. So, to continue, I was working on this one. I was working on this piece, and I need to connect a 1x1 of this type. I think I pushed this one over a bit. Heck, no, it's just the eternal setup stream. I also probably, this might be good for all of the build on chat streams that I might do in the future. I kind of need to take a picture of how I set up everything. Perhaps I need to take a short video for me as a reminder for next time that I do this. That's it's set up like this with a cam like this, then the two things next to each other like that. That one over there, don't bump into the other thing, and then the mic over there. How are you doing on this sunny? Well, it was a bit sunny for being winter here Sunday. All right, flip this one. Yeah, should I ask people how they're doing? I don't know. Like, sometimes you need to not ask too many questions because people want to lurk. Sometimes you do want to ask a lot of questions, so it's a bit the question of what is the right balance. I would think it's probably okay to do with you, since you're used to talking to or at people a bit like me. I think, yeah, since last time that we talked, I might also give a little update about me. I did reach the deadline. The deadline was reached, and I did finish the thing the proposal I needed to make. So I'm all I can ask for is a thumbs up. I hope to get some good news in 2 months' time, and hopefully I can continue making the game full time. Well, actually pick it up again, since it's been on a little bit of a pause, even since yeah, I want to give it a bit of space. I had been making it for so long. That's the curse of making it all by yourself. Then yeah, it just takes forever. Plus, with getting more and more ideas of what I want to do with the YouTube channel, and then putting time in those ideas. And even though I did unlock just at the end of last year YouTube partner, it's not really something that allows me to yeah, it's not really, it's not much to write home about, they would say, I think in Dutch and also in English. But already, like, what I'm building is kind of fun, right? There's a lot of technique, and you cannot really see where it's going yet, and it keeps expanding. I think I need to connect it like this. Again, usually I'm quite quick at how things fit, but yeah, that's the fun part. It takes me a bit longer to do it while talking on stream, which is again nice, because in this economy you want your Lego to last, right? You want your Lego that you buy. Welcome back, Alpha Indigo. Right, wasn't there... I wonder, is there a way for me... I wonder if there's a way for me to add chats to application audio. No, audio inputs. No, no, no. I think there's a way for me to kind of force it by capturing part of the OBS window and then cutting out the rest, but then it's not transparent. Like when I first started streaming, I think I used the other streaming software, I forget the name, Bubble Studio or something. Why would you want to stop meeting like this? Isn't it, I would say, quite fun to meet like this? Basically, this is a way, this could be, if we don't tell Richard, this could be a way for us to have more hangouts with Richard each month. I am willing to put up my channel just to give us that opportunity. I mean, I like a chill chat. I forget, is the small Boba Fett that you get in this set, does it have the small legs or does it have the medium legs? Because I get that some characters kind of need small legs, but the fun thing of medium legs is that you can actually pose them, and that's also something that is not... They're called medium, right? Or medium small. I don't remember the exact term, but like the in-between legs. I leave one open. Perhaps I leave this on screen a bit more. Let's keep the loose bricks out of the screen and the partial construction in the screen, is thus probably a better composition. Well, so my actual job is like I used to work for the government, and that was with a computer, but like an in-between business analyst. But I got back to my more IT central thing, and these days I'm trying to be a game developer. I'm taking a short break, but so I would say it's also in IT, and I know what you mean. Like this is still for me still a lot of computer stuff, a lot of twiddling and fiddling. But yeah, Lego is a break, and even like this, now that it's set up, I'm focused mostly a bit on talking, and mostly on just the Lego and the snippy snappy sounds. Although I do have a headset on with music, because I brought my headsets. I thought, don't forget it again, like the last time that you did a stream with two bricks. Of course, this time, since I'm not interviewing anyone, it's less of a problem because I don't really need to listen to anything. Yeah, since you say AAA, although I guess some people call them quadruple A because of the humongous budgets, and UK, then I'm kind of thinking, is it that game developer which is in the news a lot, but I presume that especially if it's that one, there's NDAs in place and you cannot actually talk about it. But yeah, I did a general IT thing when I was studying. And then I did an internship which I did not like at all. And then basically afterwards I studied something completely different. And then I went to find a job for that. But then after a few years, yeah, finding out that I didn't like that work either, I basically just went back to what I wanted to study IT for, which was making games. But back at that time, there wasn't really a game development course yet in two in between, right? Yeah, game development course yet in Belgium, or there was, but I didn't know of it. And yeah, basically I started doing it in my free time, and then I said, okay, this is actually way more fun than my job, and then I wanted to do more of it. And then yeah, eventually I did manage to now do it full time. So, and I was considering for a while going to yeah, trying to in a way to do it, but also have money to feed the family with, to doing it in the, because I'm from Belgium, so we do have one triple, possibly by now also quadruple A developer, which is Larian Games, and we have a double A developer which made Outcasts. But I think they did less well in terms of selling than Larian did, so I don't know what the future is there. But yeah, I kind of used to I've done a lot of things where I try to tell stories and then show those stories to people, like making videos. I used to do a webcomic, and I feel like I probably also just want to make games because I want to tell a story, and I probably like it too much to be able for me to be the one telling the story. So yeah, I decided to go that route, and with a few, it all kind of came together at the right time where I first decided, okay, I'm going to use some, hey person, I am, my Cyrillic is, I did look at it a few years ago, but it's a bit rusty. Is that a G in the beginning? So G-E-R, still an M, I think, A, then an N, probably, Germano, probably, Germano, Enor, that's a TH, I think. Okay. Yeah, it's yeah, sorry. It's Ukrainian. Slava Ukraine. Nee, Slava Ukraine. Are you actually Ukrainian or just or perhaps it's a reference to it or something? But yeah, the what was I saying? The game development all came together at the right time a bit. All the cards. First, I said, okay, I really want to do it more, so I said, okay, I'll start by just using up some a small amount of savings and try it out for a year. And then at the same time, I got a freelance job, so that's also still not my thing, but it's you're able to combine. It was not full time, so I was able to combine it with still working on my own thing. And then also applied to something from the government again and was able to unlock that. So suddenly Yeah, it kind of gave me some runway. I've been working on the game now, and yeah, let's first show everyone that these are the spares from bag one, and as they said, I have two extra rangefinders, so that is fun because like I'm kind of doubting, like if I remove the original rangefinder from this figure, which is kind of too expensive, I think I read somewhere. It's kind of possibly not a good idea. But I will use these on some other ones because I do, even though the difference in distance is not that much, it does look so much better, I think. Like it's a bit thicker as well. It actually comes in front of the eye. That's also the distance that it travels this way is just better. Just so, and I think this is the first one of these I get, right? Of this new rangefinder. It just looks so much better. And then it's so yes, that's from that you're from Ukraine. Okay. Strength to you, I would say. And yeah, thanks for. I mean, keep on going on. Lots of strength to you, and hopefully we start moving that in the right direction. I mean, I hear some positive things, but let's hope it doesn't drag on forever. And yeah, welcome to this stream here. I'm just building some Lego and talking about game dev. Hopefully that's it can be a nice change of pace or a nice relaxing time. So start on bag number 2. The only downside of having it set up like this, where it's really here, is that I don't really have a lot of place to put this box. Perhaps I'll just stand up and for a minute walk out of frame. A lot of bags in here. Yeah, I do think it's 22 probably. I do sometimes kind of wonder why they don't put the bags a bit more in order. This, yeah, fully at the bottom. We got, oh, I think I pushed it in a bit. Fully at the bottom, we got this bag number 2. How is it already 9 o'clock? I've already I did an hour over one bag. What? Yeah. There are some videos of me where I speed build. Even like I've done some not in a way of where there's a prize to win or something, but I have done some competitive speed building where I kind of as a challenge on another channel with a friend, where I yeah, really try to build as quickly as possible. I think, like, what was that, a 260 piece set in 8 minutes or something? Don't really remember. Don't quote me on that, it might be completely wrong. But yeah, lots more Lego in this bag than in the first one. No minifig, but yeah, there's only 2 minifigs in this whole set, so we cannot really expect each big bag to contain a minifig, and since we already got one in bag 1 and there's 22 bags, there will be a lot of... Perhaps I should take a plate from behind me. 2 by 6. Stick them on there. That way they don't fall over all of the time. Can actually lean them back a bit. And 2 small bags on the very big dish. That's the engine part, right? Did not think I was going to be building the engine already, so interesting, possibly building techniques that you don't build the whole Technic structure and then build the whole outside parts of the build, but instead we seem to be mixing it up a bit more. So also I noticed when editing last week's stream, but I hope it's better since I'm now further away from the mic, that I have this habit of when I'm streaming of sucking on my teeth a bit and then doing this and noticing that it's not the most enjoyable sound, so let's try to work on that. Yeah, black is really, at least on my screen, it's very hard to pick up. I don't know, can you actually make out the black on your screen? I presume you... I also have, of course, a very strong light shining in my face, so it might be connected to that. And sound also okay. That's very good. And is what you do in IT something you want to share? Yeah. Losing my my grip on English. Is it something you want to share? Yeah, perhaps you can also share it. So you did say that you used to work for a game development thing. Is it something that was general and open source? Oh, yeah, I use Godot for the game I'm making. So and you work, so you have an income from that. That's very nice. You don't... It's not Godot, right? Are you one of the people who... Or perhaps you work to go implement open source? Is it you work for open source? It's in open source. So do you mean by that you work on open source to change the... or update, upgrades, develop the open source programs, or is it more that you go to places to help them implement the software that is open source? Because I can imagine both. ARM, but that's the... Isn't that the processor? ARM? Does that have its very own specific software? I guess there's like you can also make, or a lot of mobile games and older games kind of can run on ARM software, so I guess there's at least like a consideration to or I can imagine that there's something like I lost track of my sentence. What was I going to say? Because it's an ARM ecosystem, and you said open source and open source. The Lego light brick. Ah. Do you mean smart brick or the light brick? Right, there's probably a very tiny processor in there. And you say it's open, yeah, and it's open source, but it is commercial. Okay, yeah. Sometimes I kind of conflate the two. I think I did meet someone who was also working on ARM. I went to the Godot engine, GodotCon in Boston, and I did meet someone there who was also like, are you him? Are you him? I forgot the name because he was also from the UK. Was there in Boston? Yeah, and he also talked me through some of those things. Okay, yeah, you never know, right? But I think he was was also kind of there for business meeting and pitching, I think, because there's Godot is open source, and it is very, if you're making 2D and all that, you have access to everything. Since it's open source, it is very viable to make something that does not use a lot of processing power for Godot. Like if it's 3D and you're doing things, it will need some tweaking, but I also worked on that freelance game there, and yeah, that in the end was able to be optimized quite well. Of course, yeah, it's a 2D game, but still. Interesting. But then, yeah, so if you say open source, it's because probably the in between where, like, I did do some IT, but my actual courses in IT are so long ago that sometimes I really struggle to find the middleware probably between your engine and the processor. Then is it like Vulkan or something? Like Vulkan you used to is like the in between Godot, and possibly there's more layers between and your graphics card, and then there's something like Vulkan, I presume, and that's open source that you use to if you're targeting mobile. Because I know, yeah, in Godot, if you're really going for mobile for your game, you kind of want to use the mobile renderer, which does not use Vulkan, but I think that still uses OpenGL. Yeah, but I think I was talking about now, right? Because you say you work in open source, and what do you mean is open source, or do you mean that the hardware is open source, which I guess could also, yeah, if you have public plans. Do you also call that open source if you... I'm wondering, because for me, ARM is like a hardware thing, and then if you're saying open source, I'm thinking of software, so I'm trying to think of what am I missing, or how do I... And that software, is it like kind of a middleware or something to drive your... Like people coming into this video are saying, Wait, I came here for the for the relaxing Lego, and now you're talking shop and so I'll close it down after this one. But now I'm kind of curious because I'm trying to comprehend. Like I kind of want to believe I could understand what it is you do if I talk my way towards it. Oh, or right. Right. That's yeah, yeah. But I think probably if you're talking to people like within the Godot ecosphere, you're probably talking to the people who make Godot engine, right? You're never talking to someone who's an in terms of Godot engine and making games an end user, a developer. Because I wouldn't really know. Right. Okay. Yeah. I probably like I if ever I have more time, enough time, I would want to contribute a bit to Godot, learn a bit of C++, and do some things there, and then possibly I could start to have a better idea of what exactly where exactly in like all of those layers the open source you're talking about finds itself, since I think from the moment you're doing C++, you're getting closer to that like more detailed layer. Well, I have a bachelor's in IT, so it's more like how to programming patterns and so on. It doesn't go as deep as how do I right? It doesn't go as deep as like really talking to hardware. But Lego and this builds, yeah. Now I thought I was only going to build half of this, but I think I'm clearly building the second half of it now. So there's a little bit of repetition. Well, it is mirrored, so it is keeping us. It is testing us a little bit. Now I have been thinking, like we're going to Japan later this year, and I have been thinking of. I'm going to, for certain, buy some retro games over there. The other study I did was Japanese, had Japanese in it, so I should be able to understand a bit of it, even though that also has become rusty. And in the context of that, I have been thinking of making another YouTube channel where I play games, and there we could probably continue that conversation more. But I think for the Lego channel, as you say, it's not the right environment to go too deep into that. I already went too deep, but let's slowly back up and focus back on the smooth clicky clackies of Lego, the smooth connections. And this nice build because this quite an interesting thing we're doing here, like this 1x3, and then you put a round plate on there and you put it like that, and then you see that this one was not firmly connected. And I made a mistake. There should have been an extra 1x3 bar on here, but because it's not connecting. If I go too close, it doesn't focus anymore. So then we make this connection. And we do firm it up here, because otherwise this would be a very flimsy connection. Only two studs and anti-stud connections, and the rest of is Technic, so that seems like it cannot possibly end there. I presume, like, where was this? Like that. Yeah, so it does get connected more. Makes sense that it gets connected better than just those two stud anti-stud connections. Because you are supposed to be able to swoosh this baby. It should be very swooshable. I feel something that I missed last week. I think that's also something Richard does a bit, perhaps not as intensely as Lego, but he also uses different colors to kind of keep it easy to tell apart. Like, yeah, it's this brick and it's that brick. Because these two, if both of them would have been black, they would be hard to keep apart. But since one of them is gray and the other is black, it's easy to see which one is which, and it keeps you flowing. It keeps you moving nice and flowy, smoothly, flowing smoothly. Smooth. And yet I made a mistake. The first use of the separator brick. Where did I... There should be a space between these two. I have this problem when building Star Wars sets. I always modify them to suit my liking. That one over there is still unmodified. I did look at some things but never actually settled on one, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to modify this one because I think that the bomb doesn't come out or something. And someone made a nice mechanism where you can kind of, with a twist of the knob or something, you can make it drop out, and some other nice little touches. And then again, this is already a version that is better looking in terms of shaping. It captures the shaping better. Of course, it's also using bricks that didn't exist back then. But I do get what you need. Like if what you're saying, when I get official Lego sets, because I've made so many custom sets where they really go deep on, okay, it's play scale, but all of the rest looks spot on. And like you only notice that it's play scale when you put the outside scale and the inside scale together. Because yeah, just from the outside, all of the relative sizes, they all fit well. And then if you go to a Lego set, yeah, a lot of the times it's much more, yeah, they're making a lot more sacrifices in order to really be sure that it's stable and so on, because kids need to play with it. And then sometimes like with the smart brick sets, all of those are very much oriented towards being sturdy and being as hamper free for the smart brick functionality as possible. And so, but even if I buy a normal Lego set, I don't think there are a lot of sets that I still have that are just from Lego. I have the Scythe, that black ship from Obi-Wan Kenobi over there. I have, but that's not really a ship, that's the Star Wars Cantina, because that is kind of play scale. It's very big, but you can look for minifig scale cantinas on Rebrickable, and those are a lot bigger. And I guess, yeah, the Slave One, and then the Razor Crest. And I think all of the other ships I have. Oh no, and one more. The official Corpsec, or how was it called again? Where the Andor in the beginning kills someone on Morlana, and then there's a security force, or a corporate security force. They made a ship with that, and I'm forgetting the name of the captain who came to his yeah, so funny end, where he wanted to take revenge, and Andor didn't even remember who he was anymore, or didn't even know who he was, and then he just gets killed like that. And sad but true. I mean, he's a cop, right? So it's kind of it's like some would say, yeah, it's a cap, so nothing. But after a while, I mean, you get to know a story, kind of live his tale as well, right? So what was the tangent again, right? And that's Andor ship, I think. So I think I have 4 ships. I bought like a whole ton more. I also have 2 U-Wings left, but those are only because I bought a new one now, and I'm going to film a little bit where I also get 2 modifications, like 2 bricks made a Cyril, yeah, Cyril. A 2 bricks made a modification, and Bauffman bricks also made a modification, and luckily each modification is for a different set. So I think 2 bricks was for the latest set, which is a lot smaller. Bauffman bricks was for the original official Lego sets, and that way I will be able to compare the two, which, yeah, I think will be a fun build. Probably again not such a very a video that will get a lot of views, but yeah, I don't think it should also not take that much extra time to film. So yeah, that's nice then. Falls into the main body too easily. The bomb from the Slave One, probably. And minifig scale, I used to like it, but then I noticed how little room I have, and play scale kind of gives me more room. Plus, it also makes that I can even swoosh the ghosts. Like this is 2 bricks as ghosts. I used to also have a play scale ghost from Brick Vaults, but that was a bit smaller. But Brick Vault also has a minifig scale ghost, and that's then weighs, I think, 4 times this amount. If I remember correctly, I think it's 17,000 pieces, and I seem to remember, I should look it up. It might also be 17 kilos. And by the way, if you're also under the illusion, like I was, that the Millennium Falcon weighs 13 kilos as a comparison, it does not. The box of the Millennium Falcon, the UCS Millennium Falcon, weighs 13, but the box itself weighs 2 kilos and a bit, and the manual weighs 2 kilos. So actually, the Millennium Falcon only weighs 9.5 kilos. And the fact that I know that might kind of already tease at another video I'm working on. Yeah, but that way I'm talking a lot and again not progressing a lot in the builds. And since this is basically just the flip side of the other one, let's try to move on and go get to something different. It is a pain because I concur. I bought the parts. I don't know if you know this, but there are free. Yeah. I was considering that, but then I found out there's free instructions on Rebrickable to make a stand with Lego pieces, Technic. And it basically gives you that same tilted view, and then it's all Lego, so kind of I thought more fun. But yeah, when I needed to put it on there, you first take the feed off and then you kind of tilt it and everything falls off because that's the way it's constructed. It is nice, but I did find it annoying that you buy a UCS set and then there's a whole empty room. I think there's 2 empty rooms, but one is used kind of with the gun or something. Or some Technic, but then there's a whole empty room as well. And I kind of was annoyed by that. And also, I think that's made me realize that there's a downside to minifig scale, namely that it's so big. And I did buy the instructions for 2Bricks' play scale, but yeah, I do not get around to actually getting the bricks. Plus, since 2Bricks took it off, took it away from Brickvault, it also is a bit more tricky because now I cannot re-download the parts list anymore because it's not on Brickvault anymore. So I think there was a small modification as well. But I do have the instructions, plus the instructions themselves. You are able to still download from Rebrickable since I bought them on there. But it's kind of annoying that you can get the parts list, the instructions. And now that I come to think of it, I probably can get the parts list because there will be a .io file in there. But yeah, then I need to figure out how to kind of get that into a parts list. So yeah, we do have our first bigger construction. Perhaps just a moment. Oops, on this thing. So I was going to modify a full interior, but yeah, it is. I actually don't know if possibly someone already made instructions for that on Rebrickable. Of course, if you say, yeah, I want to do it myself, more power to you. But I think in general, I've been started to do some things. And I think usually I kind of want to unwind with Lego a bit, and because luckily I have a lot of creativity in my job, it can be a bit hard to then get that creativity going when I'm in a hobby. And yeah, the things I make are not that fun to then film or stuff. So now we get to the dish. Connected with a... So yeah, I do also wonder, like, if I get those custom instructions, how much of this I will need to take apart again. I can imagine that it's basically, I need to fully rebuild it, but yeah, this is fun enough built that it's probably, it will be fun enough to just build it twice. Quarry's workshop. I'll quickly look that up. Is that a website, or is that a specific builder? Quarries, not Quarties, Quarries. Workshop. Quarries. Oh, right, within Prosophy. And he then, since you like MIDI fixed scale, it's probably a bit bigger than... No, wait, it's 700 pieces, so it cannot be bigger than 2 bricks is one. It's kind of a MIDI scale. Yeah, I have it. Right, but you also have a delay. The delay should not be too big. I put it on low latency, but I think if I put it on super low latency, it might not be good. This is the first stream apparently where I did have dropped a few frames, 35 in an hour and a half of streaming, 30 frames per second, so 1.5 seconds of dropped frames. I think that's okay. But yeah, I only have one MIDI scale at the moment, and that's the... Yeah, I guess that's also another official one, but that's... MIDI scale is something different. This Falcon, because people kept making alternate builds with it, and it does look very nice. And a friend of mine sent me a rebrickable mock where they basically made a... is it MIDI scale, or is it even... is it comparable to... It seems comparable to that MIDI Falcon, but possibly it's even smaller. I had 1 brick left, but I see, or I forgot it. I already had the feeling I was forgetting something. That's why I was looking at the bottom, at the ship's bottom so much. And these pieces would be suspended, but with all this Technic, it's supported already. It's already kind of intriguing the way that it's looking right now. At least I feel so. The fact that I can push down on here, well, not fully, but if I would connect it here, it would... If I push beyond it, it's not, but if I push before it, it's quite sturdy already, even though, like, it's from this point on, this part is fully suspended. So that means I need to quickly go off screen to look for another bag. Unless I actually pull this box closer. That's probably better. That's probably better screening at the cat. And then we have bag 3. So if we have 21 and I only make 3 bags, then I actually need to do 7 streams. I thought it was going to be like 3. And I can, to remind myself, I can put these on this side, but that might be blasphemy. So let me just put it back here. Yeah, I do think most of us, since a lot of us buy, well, we buy one set and then we buy more, I think a lot of us have the problem where we run out of space. Do just remember, I forgot to tell a friend. Because I got this room to film in, and I thought, okay, finally my the problems with having not enough room, all of them are solved. I have now this big room, and yeah, it was it was like on the first day that I put sets here, it was already full, because I have that one shelf, and then I have these two Alex cabinets, and then like twice the same space over there, but there's not actually any like display things in here yet, so yeah, I have no room at all. Yeah, so I do get, and yeah, you say play scale for that Thunder Holecraft, but I did build the Richard's Thunder Holecraft, and like the one you showed, it's kind of seems like it's half the size of the Holecraft that Richard built, so that's why I thought perhaps it's even so play scale, so you can fit minifigs in there. It might be. I think they're both the same size, right? Although this one has a bit more interior space. And I do remember at the time, like I wanted it because it was, I think back then I was still focused on or yeah, focused. It was the first Lego set I bought after 30 years, but I thought that's a nice one to get. Mainly just as a buy one and then it's okay. I think the fact that it was the right scale kind of helped push me over, because yeah, I had quit Lego, and that way it's not kid Lego. Of course, it doesn't take long before you don't care about that anymore. Like, why did I ever quit this? So fun. And yeah, now going back to Japan, it's the same thing. Like thinking back of all those old games, and I have some of those still systems. I had them still in the attic, but now I brought some of them down again. So yeah, there's boxes with Nintendo games right there, because I haven't put them in the right space yet. Right, but now you're talking back. You're talking again about the Forner Holecraft, because for a minute I was thinking, wait, did Two Bricks also make a Slave One, and do I just not know about it? I mean, it could be possible that he made one a while ago, and I somehow missed it while perusing his older mocks. But yeah, I get that. Like, I am very privileged. Like, we don't have kids, so that saves a bit of room. And I have a wife who's the best and has not kicked me out yet, even though I take up the Lego takes up way too much space. I let Lego take up way too much space, so I can go with Playscale, although like I am also like only the day before yesterday I decided for a few more sets that I was going to scrap them. And yeah, the idea, this doesn't seem to fit at all. Why is it not fitting? What is wrong here? Those are at the same height, right? So why is it not fitting? Okay. That took some doing. Like this sub-assembly is a bit, it's not very rigid, so when you press it down, like you do need to apply some pressure, especially in such an area, to kind of all press it in, and it did kind of bulge out, and then it didn't want to, it wasn't aligned with the anti-studs on the plate anymore, so that took a bit more doing than I thought it would. And I kind of lost my train of thoughts. That is a nice bonus to have. Now my wife does like video games, so I also like video games a lot, so like when she gives room for, or I take room for the Lego thing, it is more of a sacrifice, which I kind of need to compensate for. But the gaming, yeah, she also does like games, not all of the same genres that I like, but yeah, for instance, we just bought over the holidays, we just bought Split Fiction, played that together, and even though that is a very open game and meant to be played together, it is just like the previous one about the parents that were in a divorce. Like, it does require some aptitude with playing games, because it does have some challenging sections where if you have a partner that does not play a lot of games, I can imagine there being some trouble with getting past certain sections, like that platforming, and then to do all of this special movement and timed stuff. But it is, if you can both play video games, this is a very fun co-op game with a fun story that kind of, I feel like it is leaning into something that talks about AI without it actually being about specifically AI, but more like something that I'll have to see it if it actually ends up being completely that way. But I mean, the story is about literally putting people who make art into a machine and extracting their ideas. So to me, that feels like it is a commentary, but yeah, depending on, of course, when they started making the game, I think the previous game released in 2020 or 21, so it is very much possible that they were making it before like AI started being everywhere. This is also a very interesting thing. Very nice, interesting shape. And then we connect the bottom to the top half by putting that there. And now suddenly it's connected to both below and bottom. It's always fun when you actually do this, right? That something is connected to bottom and top, even though it's like this. So it feels like there's a lot of reversals there. Possibly also be for something near the dish, or perhaps the cockpit. Yeah, it's I think that's why Richard liked it specifically, because it was doing so many fun things. Like already the start, even though it was a bit finicky to actually get on there, it was very fun to do. And then really this wraparound is just so this to apply this feels very very fun, very rewarding. So when you're going to build this, I'm sure you'll also like it a lot. Yeah, I do wonder, do you actually pick up any of my Lego? Perhaps I should put it closer, a bit more like this, that all of the clicks go in well. Because for one time you actually want these background noises, I think. Yeah, there's so much things for the camera to focus on. This is a new piece as well, right? I think I've already seen it somewhere else, but I think that was a more recent set. The U-Wing, probably. I think the U-Wing was the summer wave, and this was the wave for the May 4th, or even before, because I saw this when I was in Boston. So they had it way back then. Like when, it was already crazy back then, but this year I would just, not. Anyway, happy thoughts and Lego and clicky clackies. Some dog hair. We have two, and both of them should be confined to downstairs. They never get here, but you give hugs, and then the dog hairs are also part of you. And now we connect these. of minifigs and Lego. How do you mean the bricks and minifig store? Because I haven't been to one yet, or do you mean like what? That seems like a very open or far-reaching question. Do you just mean what do I think of like Lego, or do you mean the brand? No, minifigs and Lego. Ah, that way. Well, I do think that since Star Wars Lego is so expensive compared to other Lego, because the um, the split they negotiated, possibly that was renegotiated when Disney took over Star Wars. Somehow the licensing there is very expensive, although the Nintendo licensing with both Zelda, Mario, and Pokemon seems to come close, or possibly the same, or perhaps even worse. Given that, it does make sense why the minifigs are both often a selling point, because yeah, okay, you could just buy other Lego sets and then still make the same stuff, but you don't get the minifigs in there. So those, yeah, unless there's a lot of very special pieces in a build, those kind of are what sell, or what's kind of make worth it, the fact that you're buying a Star Wars Lego sets. And there's people buying up, I mean, there's a lot of people buying Lego and then still, if they paid for it and it's okay, but now it comes with an expensive minifig. I do get, because that's possibly the controversy or the opinion thing where you're kind of thinking towards, where they brought out the Venator and it had a Rex, and then later on it got another set, and as far as I understood it, there was not even the printing on the arms difference with those two minifigs. And I kind of do get that if you pay your Star Wars premium on a set, on a very big set, and it only has two minifigs, so the minifig is very expensive, and then later on, if it's really the same figure that is put out again, I do get it. I think I like building Lego a lot. I think I usually prefer, even though Lego builds are very entertaining and relaxing, because also you just buy the box, you have all of the bricks, you have the instruction manual, everything is a bit sorted, that you open the bricks and piece by piece you only get a little bit of bricks, just enough bricks to have to look a little bit but not get lost in looking. So it's a lot less effort than making custom or building a custom build. But I do think custom builds usually go even further. Like what you get with this Slave 1, I feel like you get with almost any, or the good custom builds. So I do like customs usually better than official Lego, but I do also like smaller sets. I will, when I have more money than I have now, I will sometimes just buy, because I say, okay, if I buy the minifigs separately, I need to pay about the same, including shipping, as if I just go to the store and buy the full sets and then I'll make the sets. But usually it's not so interesting, so I'll then disassemble the sets afterwards. But yeah, like I also like, a lot of my sets, that's also part of why I like play scale. In minifig scale you can also do this, but like with mini scale and so on, you cannot really do this. I like to put some life into the thing that's been built, and minifigs allow for you to do that, right? Because the ghost is fun, but having those minifigs in there, it's also like often like the Mantis Stinger is a reference to a game that I liked, and it's a ship I really like from that game, but I also like those characters, so also having them in there kind of makes it better. And sometimes, like, as a grown-up, it's very hard to play like a kid with Lego, but sometimes I make a little movie, like a little introduction or something, and a little short. And then it's fun to animate those minifigs, and especially, yeah, that's me talking from as an adult. But I think as a kid, I did like, yeah, playing with the minifigs as well. So I think both are very fun. Minifigs from Lego have kind of a right vibe and shaping. For example, I don't like Funko Pops because of their business practices as well. But also, I don't really like the way they're shaped. It's a stylized version representation of a person, but I do like the shaping and the ratios of what Lego is. Possibly just because I grew up with them, but I just, yeah, for me, it does make a lot of sense how this is. I didn't realize it was just like not even a backside faceprint, although possibly they didn't have those back then, but still. So getting back to the point, yeah, like most of the time, the thing that actually I would say occupies most of my time is building. And building, you don't have a lot of building time with a minifig, plus actually putting a minifig together, unless you're fig bashing, unless you're trying to take all of the minifig parts that you have and you try to make a certain character that's not yet represented in Lego. And I'll give an example. Like these are like these whoops, boink. Like before we got the official Cal Kestis, I used the video of Richard to kind of get this built, and I think this is one-on-one his version, and then for this one I think it's a bit changed because I used this Lilo and Stitch piece, but he now also used that. So, and then for Marin, I think I used a different head piece because the Asajj Ventress piece that he used is a very quite expensive minifig. I think also 2025, and this head was only a single euro. So I like that better. But I did use the same outfit. Like this is from that character from the sequels, but I forget the name. And so, yeah, in this way you can also spend more time with Lego. I also have a video where I built some figures from a D&D podcast that I'm a big fan of. And all of those are fig bashed. I've probably done more fig bashing than I've done custom my own design Lego. So you can spend some time, but if you look at the time spent, yeah, building, I spend a lot of more time on it. So it is kind of crazy how the minifigs are so expensive, and if you take the minifigs from a set and you try to resell it, usually you don't get a lot of money. comparatively. So you do have a point. You spend a lot of time building a set and a lot of fun as well. Like the building techniques are so fun, especially as an adult. Like the building techniques are usually probably where a lot of people get the most fun. It is fun to see it standing there, and it looks even better with the minifigs. And you can have that fun for a long while, but it is less intense than the fun you have while building, I would say. I already put this on there, but I just see now that I should not have done that yet. It still needed a few more pieces. Yeah, sometimes I can kind of go way too long into an answer probably. But let's continue building this, because I was thinking of stopping at 9:30. So, but I did start too late. So I think I'll probably stop around the 2 hour mark, which is about now. So when I'm done with this bag, but I don't have a tight deadline anymore to work towards. So probably I will be doing some more streams later this week, and people are always welcome to come hang out. And that's an alarm. It's not to stop streaming. It's something else. And now it's this that's going off. Stop. All of the alarms. What was that? Why was that? I think it was also an alarm. Everything all right. And now, why is it also now? Okay. I hope that those 2 minutes of the Critical Role introduction don't get me into trouble in terms of copyrights. 2 minutes, 2 seconds even. But we're already, like, we're getting started, right? Probably here somewhere. Like, we're getting possibly the general shaping of the ship. Yeah, I think the set was balanced. What was in terms of part counts quite good. There's a lot of big pieces in there, so I think in weight probably as well. But yeah, the fact again that it only has 2 minifigs for a $300 set probably means that the minifigs are now costing way too much. But yeah, except for the arm prints, you can just get the... If you're not interested in the set, I think that, again, this is one of the few sets where I would say, like, most people probably think that here the actual sets is the selling point instead of just the very nice looking minifigs, even though it is a very nice looking minifig, which the fact that it is such an exception does kind of make for an understandable reason why Star Wars Lego fans can be a bit more possibly also demanding, right? Because just the fact that all of our Lego is more expensive, then it kind of makes sense that then people also get a bit more demanding. If you're taking more of our money, we're connecting it to there. I also feel like I got distracted again, so possibly I missed something, but we'll connect it first. So that's this side backwards. It would make sense for it to go like that, and I think it does so. And this means that we now have oh, I probably cut off part of the other cam in that other shot. That's why now suddenly this side is in the shot again. But yeah, this feels like the right size, right? I already have the general shaping of the bolts. Like I might need to place it perhaps a bit more like this. It's fully in screen, in shot. Okay, I need these for, so that means that what I have left should be okay. Those are 1x1 pieces, tiles and so on. So I didn't miss anything. And this part, the Stagnic brick, is from that part. So we do have a little bit more steady connection. We already had a bit bigger stick-to-itiveness than this connection, because we have a lot more stud and anti-stud connections, but still. Now that does mean that I think I will call it here for today. Thanks for hanging out. Alpha Indigo or AI Slop, right? That's right, yeah. Because we did have one other person coming in, and for a second I was thinking, wait, did I switch the names? No, I remembered it correctly. Possibly also Bjorn in here. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, nice talk, and a nice beginning to the set. A lot already. Whoops. Already interesting techniques and a little bit of demolition at the end to keep us on our toes. And in the end, we did manage a setup that I think that I should have known, because I just used this kind of setup for making my actual videos. I just should have stuck with what I know that helps, that works. So yeah, thanks for being here, and I'll just close it off, give it a few more seconds, because I remember from last time, after I pressed the stop button, I think it cuts off directly instead of waiting for the delay to roll over. So I'll give it 5 more seconds, and perhaps see you later. Bye bye.